I'm so burnt out on podcasts. Besides this one.
Everyone listening is like, I'm leaving this. Okay, episode 5. Are we starting?
Let's go. Second guest. Pretty excited about this one.
I'm so excited. Thomas Stokes the third. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, the third.
Thomas Stokes
Cool
the
name.
third is here, everybody.
I'm hyped for this one. I think I've been
I'm so
following
excited.
you probably one of the longest. Well, out of the people I know from Twitter,
Mhm.
you were definitely one of the first people I found.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I remember, it's so funny. I'm pretty sure I found you from the business cards you posted, maybe.
Oh, really?
Dude,
Yeah.
those business cards you have are so crispy, beautiful. I've never seen business cards like that. Every art business card I see surprisingly doesn't look that good. And I'm like, how did you let that happen? Or it just looks like a normal business card where you don't know what they're selling or what they're doing.
Mhm.
But yours is so beautiful. The art on one side, and I like how it's like rounded on the edges.
Oh, yeah.
Normally I would not like that, but the way you did it makes it look so sleek, and like I'm like, ooh, the future. Ooh, look at us.
Thank
love
you.
That's so funny. I think it was either the business cards or you posted a photo. It was a whole bunch of your work alongside Picasso, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Mhm.
either the business cards or that was when I first saw your work. And seeing it next to Picasso, I was like, oh, this guy's serious. Like, I should look into this dude. How was that experience? That's insane.
Yeah, it was pretty unbelievable at first. I said this in the interview that I had with McNay, which is where it was taking place. But while it was being set up, I felt like I was dreaming. Like it didn't seem real. But overall, it was such a great experience because talking with other people about my art, I got to learn a little bit more about it, and I felt I knew. Just listening to different people's perspectives on it was really meaningful to me.
Right.
When
And
you
you
found
ended up
out that was
working
gonna
there,
happen,
right?
oh shoot, we just
Oh,
totally
sorry.
interrupted each other. No, but
I'll let you go.
when you found out that was gonna happen, like, did you have a
Mhm.
moment where you were like, "Oh my god, my work is gonna be next to Picasso"? Like, what?
Yeah, I did. I found out a few months prior, and I kept it a secret until about a few weeks before it happened or something like that. But I kept it to myself, and I was really excited the whole time. Obviously, after I was really excited about it.
Did
But
your
yeah,
family
Been
know
able to do
or
that.
close friends?
Yeah, actually, just my family knew about it. And
What'd they
very,
say?
Yeah, they were ecstatic. Like they were really happy about it, and I'm glad that they were.
Did it drive you crazy? Like all these months being like, my work's gonna be next to Picasso, and nobody knew, like except family, but still.
Yeah, I kept wanting to sort of tease it or post about it, but I kept it to myself until a few weeks prior to when it was put on display. I think actually while it was being set up, that was the first time I showed it, and it just kind of wowed people.
I
So
couldn't believe it. I saw you post that picture, and I said, "What?" Beautiful.
Yeah, I would have
crazy.
been freaking out. I don't think I could have kept that secret. So was that like the biggest show you've been in, or have you been in others?
I'd say it's the biggest one I've been in, definitely. I have been in a few others. I was supposed to be in one, but but then quarantine, COVID happened. So
I feel you.
hopefully there'll be more in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I would bet on that. That McNay interview was really interesting, and you talked about self-taught, which I thought was interesting. So you never went to like post-secondary for art,
Wait, what do you mean by that?
like college or like art school?
College, I took one painting class, and that was it. It was like beginner's class, so I didn't like it. But in high school, I took art classes every year in high school, and I like to count those because those help shape who I am in a way.
Right.
My teachers as well.
That's
So
great.
when you signed up to take those high school art classes, did you already know that you wanted to be this artist? Or was it just, ooh, art class, that seems fun? Tell me a little bit about that.
It was more of me thinking of art class as something that was fun. And I've been doing art for as long as I can remember, but it wasn't until I think it was my sophomore or junior year in high school where I really wanted to be an artist, and I really wanted to do it for the rest of my life. And during that time, I saw a few artists who were, I think, a little older than me make careers out of art. And that really motivated me and showed me that it was possible. Seeing people around my age do it was the big deciding factor for me.
Yeah, that's been the biggest inspiration, is seeing people my age or even younger, like Fewocious, like doing it full time.
Yeah, it's great.
It's
So
so
you're
nuts.
full time?
Oh, shoot.
Oh,
Sorry,
full time?
a little lag.
Well, I make art full time. Yeah, I do have a side job now, but well, I guess it doesn't make it full time then. I like to think of it as full time because that's what I concentrate on the most.
Totally. Yeah, and we're so young. Like, Fewocious is a great example. Like, if you can just do it from the start, that's great. But we're so young now that it's like, even that we're close to being full time, even if we're not, like, that's still incredible, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
You're 23, right?
I'm 22.
Oh, not bad.
You did the
Turned
math wrong,
23 later this
JW.
month. No, I actually turned 23 on the 9th. So just in a
Oh,
few
look
days.
at us.
That's close.
So where are you right now? Is that your studio?
Studio / bedroom. I don't have
You do everything in your room?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I relate.
Yeah, me too.
So, does that drive you a little nuts? Like when you sleep and then you wake up and you see your art?
Not at all.
Really?
Yeah, I would hate to have to drive somewhere to make art. Or have to like walk a far distance, because I like being able to, in the spur of the moment, work on whatever ideas I have. Stuff like that. It makes it easier for me, I feel.
No, 100%.
Yeah. I love sleeping in the studio, and you can wake up, go right to it.
I bet.
Can you tell I didn't get a lot of sleep?
Can you tell this is our second guest episode?
Oh, when is the
Getting
first
better.
one coming out?
Today, and then yours is coming out like Tuesday.
Cool.
Or yeah, I don't know.
Someday. Soon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You know what? I heard in the McNay interview that you used to do a lot of hyperrealism.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that shift happen to what you do now?
I'd say the main thing was, this is kind of weird to say, but I got bored of it. Like, I hadn't like completely mastered it or anything. It was just at a certain point I felt like, well, why not take a picture of what I'm drawing or something like that?
Yeah.
That doesn't apply to all cases, but and also it was very tedious to do it, to work on those drawings, and the end result kind of wowed me for like a little while, and then it was like, eh. But like the stuff I work on now, the wow factor for me after I finish it stays a lot longer because it's I guess unique. That's the main
Yeah, there's
reason
so
I
much
wanted.
more like experimentation in your current work. That McNay interview you mentioned used acrylics, which kind of surprised me. I think you're really good at glazing and like making the acrylics do what oil does. I think I
Thank you.
love that. A lot of people talk shit about acrylics. I love them. That's cool that you use them.
Actually, the whole reason why I started using them like that was because when I first started out, I had these like a starter kit for acrylics, and they were like these tiny tubes. And I thought to myself, oh, I want to save paint, so I started adding water to them. And then one thing led to another, and I've been doing that since.
Right. That's
That's so
exactly
cool.
how I got into that technique as well. That's funny. You also sand your paintings. I like to do that on my sign paintings to get like a cool distress look. I thought that was really interesting that you also do that.
Yeah,
how'd you think about doing that?
I saw another artist apply that technique in their work, and I didn't know that it was sandpaper. And I'd always wondered what it was because I found it interesting, the texture that it leaves behind. And eventually I bought some sanding blocks and started to experiment with it. And ever since then, I really like the texture that it leaves behind.
For sure. You can like see all the layers behind it and kind of
Yeah.
tell that you've done a lot of work on it. I love it.
One thing I was wondering, I know you from Twitter and seeing your art online. But you have this whole other thing where your art is in these amazing galleries and stuff. So how do you view like that, like social media and your art? How do you use social media?
I think that, well, for me, I always view social media as a way to um, get my art seen by more people. And in some ways, I feel like that can lead to greater opportunities than in-person stuff. I feel like it's helped me a lot as far as selling and having my art viewed by different people. That's how I view it. I feel like it's not too different than how other artists would view social media, but
Yeah,
that's
for
how I
sure.
see it.
Do you ever get like burnt out by it? We've kind of been talking about that a lot lately, and I find it interesting to see how social media affects different artists.
I definitely do get burnt out by it. I'll go through periods where I only get on social media when I have something to share. But um, yeah, I definitely get burnt out by it. But overall, I've been spending less time on social media because I feel like spending too much time on there isn't too good for my mental health.
I
Like
feel
with
the
most
same
For
way.
people.
sure. I find it interesting that like you kind of have the two worlds, right? Like the classical gallery route and then art on social media.
Mhm.
You find you're starting to get more clients that are like people you know from social media, or has it always been like that?
You mean like the majority of it is coming from social media?
Yeah, because with your work, like you were in the McNay, so I would assume like art Twitter people probably weren't purchasing those works, right? But like I see people on Twitter buy your work all the time now, so that's interesting. How,
Oh yeah,
yeah, do you think there's like been a crossover with your audience?
I think so. Like, well, the McNay show ended um, a few months ago. I think it was when quarantine started back in July.
Right.
But one thing I noticed was that they definitely were crossing during the exhibition. I used to work there, and at the time, people who followed me on social media would approach me while I was working there, and they'd say, "Hey, I like your art. I follow you on social media. I came here to see it." And to me, that was really cool.
How did it feel the first time that happened?
It felt really great. It's funny. The When the exhibition first started, or actually before it started, I really didn't talk to anybody about my art And so when those people would come up to me, I would get so nervous when they asked me about my paintings. I still do a little bit, but I've gotten more used to it since then. And overall, when those people would approach me, honestly, it would make my day. And I get to tell them about the works and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, even just getting compliments on Twitter, like I'll get a really nice one, it'll make my day. But someone in real life, like coming to my show, taking time out of their day to like physically do that, that's insane.
Yeah, and they recognized you and walked up to you. Like that must be such a cool feeling.
Yeah. We were kind of talking recently. You were interested in getting into NFT, crypto-based art. I'm really curious, like, what made you interested and curious, at least, I guess.
Seeing how digital art could be valued in the same way as physical art was interesting to me. I didn't understand it at first. It was like, what's going on? But seeing how digital art could be valued that way and seeing the success from digital artists really motivated me and brought my attention to NFTs and crypto art.
I've been really enjoying your digital art recently. It's
Thank you.
I feel my favorite thing is when, well, for me, like I can create a painting and then kind of like replicate it in Procreate or, like replicate the same style. And I think you've done a great job at doing that. The other day you posted, I think it was 3 paintings, and then one was digital. And you could barely tell which one was digital. I love that.
Dude,
How have you been enjoying digital?
Look so good. Yours look like paintings. I feel like normally with digital art, I can tell. I'm like, oh, like I can spot it super fast. But yours, it's hard to tell. Like the brushes you use and the texture, it's like, hold on a second, for real? And so, how do you like digital? Was it weird at first, or do you have experience with it before?
It was definitely weird at first. I do like it a lot. With that first piece that I posted titled Mephistopheles, what I did was to kind of, I guess, get used to it faster, I approached making the piece the same way how I would my paintings. And that helped me adjust at a faster rate, I feel. But yeah, I do really like digital art. There's I guess convenience to it that is not there with traditional painting.
For sure. How long have you been doing digital?
Since I got my iPad a few weeks ago.
Weeks.
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
That's
I thought you were gonna
crazy.
say like a few months ago.
No. Last time I did something digital was like a middle school project in Photoshop, and I hated it.
Yeah.
So did you have this stigma against digital when you got into it?
I had a little bit of a stigma, but I think it went away maybe a few years ago, seeing the type of work that could be created. I think like what I used to think digital art was like mostly Photoshop, but like seeing people draw stuff in digital was really cool to me. That's I guess changed my perspective on it.
So what pushed it? Did you already have an iPad or did you get an iPad to do this?
I got an iPad to do this.
What pushed you to do that? Because it's not an easy purchase, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, the crypto art pushed me to purchase it, and then crypto art and just, I guess, the creative or the endless possibilities with creativity that can be accomplished in digital art. It was like opening a new gateway.
Right.
It is. You and me were talking about animating too. Like there's a lot you can do with the digital piece.
Still learning a ton.
Yeah, it's been like a week.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been doing digital for years, and every day I find a new shortcut. I'm like, wait, you can do that?
Yeah. Like that thing in Procreate where you can on the iPad like do split screen and then import the color palette from a photo.
Mhm.
I
That
just
helps
learned
me
about
a
that
ton.
like 3 days ago.
It's so crazy. I feel like I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I'm cheating. This is awesome. And then you use it.
Do you find digital art like its own thing? Like this is a finished work, or do you find it as like a tool to create studies for physical paintings, or do you see them separate?
It's funny. I was actually using it. I started using it as a tool. I think yesterday.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I took a picture of a sketch that I have on canvas. It's actually behind me,
Oh yeah.
and because I feel like it was missing something, and so I took the sketch and drew on it in Procreate. And I have a projector that I use, and I put that image over the canvas and traced over the changes that I made. So
That's
it's
super
helped me
smart.
a lot.
That's
I
so
wanna-
cool. I want a
yeah.
projector so bad. How do you use it? How did you know to get that? I want to learn more.
Oh, because okay, so I actually have them right here. What I would do is I'd sketch my paintings on like a small piece of paper, and what I would do then is I would draw a grid and then draw a grid on my canvas, and then try to get them the same. And that was extremely tedious. So I thought there has to be a better way, and then I thought of a projector. And
That's sick.
yeah, just use a projector now for transferring sketches, and it's greatly improved my efficiency when working.
Right.
Now I don't have to spend all day trying to transfer something.
Totally. To go back to crypto art, I'm really excited for you. I could see your work thriving in that scene.
100%. Your art is beautiful.
Thank
And to
you.
see you, also just to see you try out new mediums too. That's something admirable. I love it. Because I know some people are like, ew, digital, what the heck? So it's
Especially
beautiful to see you.
painters.
Yeah. So to see you embrace it and be like, yeah, I'm gonna try it out. Also, I'm gonna use it as a tool for my physical stuff too. And what? Like, I love
Yeah.
it. It's awesome.
I think
Sorry. You can go.
one thing that digital has helped me with is like looking at my traditional work. I use very muted color palettes, and doing traditional has helped me kind of use colors in a way that I feel comfortable with. I don't know why I was afraid to use more colors with my traditional work, but digital has helped me because I can always undo things. It's helped me get more comfortable with it.
Right. Do you ever find that it's hard to progress with the digital piece because there's so many like things you can toy with and just constantly edit?
Yeah, I think with my first piece, it wasn't that bad at all. I just kept moving forward with it. But my second piece and then my third piece, I found myself like undoing stuff and like taking screenshots and like comparing the screenshots
Right.
or duplicating the whole drawing just to
Yeah,
make
I
some
do that
changes.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I do that. If you look at my Procreate, it's just tons of duplicated things.
Yeah.
And I change like one thing.
That's so funny.
But at the same time, I think it's helped me, I guess, just get better.
I like the one of your recent digital pieces had like a really nice cobalt blue in it. I've been really enjoying the color.
That
Thank
one's
you.
so pretty. I saw it and I said, ooh.
Blue's growing on me. I used to not use it.
Interesting.
Why?
I think, or at least I feel with like real life paints, I can't get a blue that's that vibrant, or unless I search for like a specific expensive pigment. But since I can just create that easily in digital, it's like it's easily accessible,
Right.
and it's definitely grown on me. Same with some other colors.
Have you
Yeah,
messed
I've
around with the
seen, like,
different
red and
brushes
fall.
on there?
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. I've
Like
actually
texture
bought.
brushes or downloading brushes?
Yeah, I bought a lot of brushes when I
Really?
first got Procreate. Yeah, I did a bunch of brush shopping, but I only used a few that I bought.
Do you have a favorite brush?
I do. This is one pack I use. I think it's called the MB Starter Pack. It's like free. I got it on Gumroad, and
Writing this down right now.
I know. I'm like, let me think about this.
it's this one brush called a comb brush, and it's like dragging a comb like through sand. It leaves that trail behind, and I just use that for texture. I also purchased some texture packs.
Oh, texture packs are huge. I love them.
Yeah, they can really transform a piece.
Is it crazy? Do you ever draw something and you're like, it looks a little flat, and then you add the texture and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, or the other way around. I'll start with the texture pack or the texture, then I'll remove it, and I'm like, oh, this looks bad. Let me like draw on it without the texture pack to improve it, and then add it later.
It's so funny. Sometimes I start a new canvas and I forget to add the texture, and I'm like, why does it look like that? and then I remember.
Yeah, I probably spent like $150 on brushes.
Dang.
And I used like, I don't know, 15 of them maybe.
Oh my god.
But it's definitely worth it. Like, especially the texture ones that like upgraded my work. I had no idea about those.
Yeah. I'm glad I searched for those, because I think if I started out with like, I guess the default brushes, I would not have had as much direction.
Right.
I don't regret my purchases at all.
No, it's worth it. Business expense.
Dude, everyone in the comments is like, downloading right now. And they're gonna go there and try to find it.
Should get sponsored. They owe us.
When you start on Procreate, like how many layers do you normally work with?
That's funny you mentioned that, because me and Fewocious, I think, are really different. I remember last time you were talking, you like to use like one layer and like be risky. But like, for like my bigger works, I'll have like 20 sometimes.
Dang.
What about you?
I think because excluding the textures, I think I have around 10 maybe. That's about it.
I could probably cut down to 10, but instead of like grouping layers together, I'll just make a new one.
I just discovered you could.
I would have so many blank layers. I'd be like, I'm nervous. I don't want to accidentally delete it. New layer. So I don't delete it. Shoot,
I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, it's all good.
I have a question. You said your work is inspired by old-fashioned magazines. Do you read like magazines and stuff to get inspo?
No, not anymore. That applied more to the work that was specifically at the McNay. Mostly with the color palettes and fashion photography and models posing, stuff like that. How pretty often models will have this almost stoic look on their face, like expressionless or emotionless, that influence those. I'd say that now most of my inspiration comes from other artists, digital and traditional, as well as some mood boards that I follow on Instagram, specifically their color palettes. I refer to those a lot recently, especially with digital art.
You mentioned you enjoyed Francis Bacon's work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who are some digital artists, kind of the opposite of painting, I guess, that you were into?
I'm terrible at remembering their names because usually most of them go by their handles.
Right. They don't have cool names like Francis Bacon.
Yeah. There's
respect.
This Polish one, I can't even remember his name or how to pronounce it. And I can't name any others off the top of my head. One thing that has been inspiring me is the color palettes of a lot of Yeezy stuff.
Oh.
I like how he uses colors. Like he'll use vibrant colors and earthy colors together, and I feel like they work really well in certain cases.
Now that you mention that, like I could definitely see that correlation with the muted earth tones. Are you really into fashion, or is that just like an influence in your art?
I am into fashion, not as much as I feel like I get more influence from it more than I am necessarily into it or knowledgeable in it. But yeah, it's I used to get inspiration from it a lot a few years ago, but as of recent, other things besides fashion.
Do you have like this folder just full of stuff you like to look at, or how do you keep track of everything?
I use this website called Arena. It's ARE.NA, I think is what it's called. And it's basically where I store a ton of reference material. It's like, I guess, Tumblr, except more organized. And yeah, I have a bunch of stuff on there that I refer to.
That's cool. I just got into Pinterest.
Oh, Pinterest. Yeah. I love me my Pinterest. Everything I get inspired from is Pinterest.
Yeah?
Love Pinterest.
Interesting. Do you ever reference real life, or I guess everything you reference is real life, but like
I was about to say, JW.
I mean,
you okay?
Like images or like things you come in contact in your life, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I don't do that as much anymore. I feel like a few years ago I did that more often. I don't know if it's just because, especially recently because of quarantine and me not going out as much, but I get a ton of my inspiration from the internet, from things on the internet. But sometimes conversations with people will inspire me. Sometimes certain like phrases or words inspire me. It's strange.
The same way. Like, I remember I learned about the word reciprocity, and I was like, "Oh, that's such a cool sounding word." And then like it would just like loop in my head, and then like influence art. It's really weird, but I agree.
What does that word mean, by the way?
It means like just like doing, like giving things away or doing something good for no reason, just to do it. Kind of cheesy, but I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah.
Do you like remember any like those phrases that you would repeat?
One phrase that I've had in my head for actually a few years that I've been wanting to make a piece about is the term Hedgehog's dilemma. But I haven't ever gotten around to making a piece based off of that.
What is a hedgehog's dilemma?
It's, if I'm remembering correctly, it could be applied to people, but it's the idea that the closer two hedgehogs get, the more they hurt each other because of their thorns. So it's like two people getting closer, but hurting themselves as a result.
Damn.
Do you feel it's too much of like a beautiful subject to make art about? So you're like scared to, or why haven't you gotten around to it?
Well, with my portraits, I don't normally paint like full bodies. I feel like if I wanted to do a piece based off of that, I would need to, but I know that's not the case. And I just get distracted working on other things or by other phrases or words that give me inspiration.
That's cool. I like that about your work. It's like, it's very not surface level. Like you can tell you're doing more than just painting. Like you're actually thinking and like trying different ideas out.
Thanks. I try to get that across.
Right.
At the same time, though, I don't like to like force a narrative into what I'm working on and kind of leave things open. I only like tell people what pieces are about if they ask me, stuff like that. Just like a personal preference.
Do you work on a lot of stuff at once, or is it just this is the painting I'm working on and I'm gonna work on this?
I work on several things at once. I actually didn't start doing that until I think sometime last year. I would only work on one thing, and then if I felt like I was stuck, I just waited out and, till inspiration came or something like that. But working on several pieces, I don't know why I didn't start it sooner, but it's definitely better, I feel.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the way to go for me. When I'm like bored of one, just switch to the other. I don't know a ton about you, but you're very interesting to me. And something I like to learn about artists is like that they're not art robots. Like they do more than just paint, you know?
Mhm.
So do you have any like other hobbies besides, well, to call art a hobby for you, like it's kind of insulting, but like, do you have any hobbies?
I play video games whenever I feel like I have the free time.
What's your favorite game?
Yeah.
That I played like ever or
And favorite
recently?
game right now, or like of all time?
I don't know. Maybe of all time would be a game called Bioshock Infinite.
I love
The-
Bioshock.
Yeah, the art direction of the whole game is amazing to me. Like it's a game that I could like stop and stare at like the surroundings for a while, and kind of
Right.
get myself lost in.
Yeah,
I could
it's so funny.
totally
When I
see
was a
that in
little
your work.
kid, I would play video games and not appreciate the art or that people made it. I would just
Yeah.
play them. But
Me
now that I'm
too.
older, I've been replaying these games that I played when I was little and just like being like, wow, the story's good or the music is beautiful. And I didn't even appreciate it.
Yeah. Another thing is I watch a lot of anime when I feel like I have the free time to do that. I feel like those are my main like hobbies. Watching movies, of course. Do any of you watch anime?
I don't
I used to. I
No.
used to love I'm very basic, but like Naruto and Bleach. Those.
I've never like sat down and watched those like all the way through.
Right. What do you
Which is
I
like?
weird.
want to. There's so many episodes that I'm scared.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like 500
That's how I am
episodes.
about it.
What do you watch?
Oh, as far as anime?
Yep.
I watch a lot. I think I'm like out of my friends that watch anime, I feel like I'm the one who watches it the most. Attack on Titan is like the main one that I'm excited about and that I've seen it a few times already. The final season's coming out in a few days, so I'm like
Oh, wow.
really hyped for that.
That's big for you, huh?
Yeah. And anime films as well, like Ghost in the Shell, Perfect Blue, Akira or Akira.
Akira is beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know the whole thing was like I figure most people know this, but did you know the whole thing was hand drawn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw this whole Twitter post, like, you know, those robot accounts that post like movie scenes. I saw, I was like, whoa, I can't believe that people make that. I don't know. It's so insane.
Yeah, there's a bunch of videos online of people painting like the backgrounds and all the
Yeah.
different techniques. It's insane.
So many hours put into it.
What kind of music do you listen to when you paint or draw? Or do you just sit in silence sometimes?
Very few times I sit in silence.
Okay,
but
same.
that can drive me crazy. I think most of what I listen to is ambient music or recent stuff. I use Spotify, recent stuff in my liked list. I feel like if I listen to something new, I either like because it's new, it kind of distracts me if I like it a lot. I'd be like, ooh,
Right.
I like this. Let me pay attention more to this and what I'm working on. So I listen to a lot of at the time stuff that I've already heard. Or if it's new, it'll be like ambient music because
Right.
it's ambient music. I don't focus on it too much.
Yeah, ambient's great, especially for painting.
Mm-hmm.
Who are your favorite like ambient artists? That sounds so silly.
William, I always say his name in my head, but I never say it out loud. William Blazinski, I think is how you say his last name.
Right.
Aphex Twin. Boards
Classic.
Yeah. Boards of Canada.
Yeah, those are one of my favorites as well. I just
There's
picked
plenty
up.
more.
Yeah, I just picked up Godspeed You Black Emperor. That's kind of ambient.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just picked that up on vinyl. I've been listening to that a lot when I'm painting or at least drawing. It's great. An hour will just pass by. One song will be on. Like, it's great.
Yeah, that's what I love about ambient music is like sometimes time can feel different while listening to it.
Yeah, totally. Especially because like some of the tracks are like 18 minutes long.
Yeah.
I love it because I feel like I'm in a movie. I'm like, ooh, I feel like I'm in a movie scene
Yeah.
making this cool thing, or I don't know.
Hmm. What about you two?
I think listening to music with too many words, I will let the words impact the narrative of my art. So I try to stay away from it unless I have songs that make up the mood for my art. So it's a balance. But yeah, I like ambient music a lot. I think it's important. Also, with words, you're like, oh, the song's over. And it takes you out
Oh,
of this little
yeah.
mindset. But with ambient music, it's just like, I don't really know when this song ends. So I'm just stuck here.
Yeah, it's like continuous.
Yeah. Or sometimes the next track will come on and I don't even realize. And to me, that's the best feeling because I notice I'm like in the zone.
Right. Or sometimes I'll be drawing really into it. And then like a 4-minute song will just like end. And it felt like a minute. And then I
Yeah.
become like consciously aware of how long I've been drawing for. So that's why, no, I definitely appreciate ambient for that reason as well. I've been getting into some dad rock recently.
Dad rock? I
Yeah.
don't think I've heard of that.
Just like old white guy music. Yeah, referencing my roots. I love it. Do you listen to any podcasts or is it mostly just music?
Every now and then I'll listen to a few podcasts, or I guess you could call them mini documentaries or video essays as well.
I love video essays.
Yep.
Yeah. But with those, I find myself like zoning out of like the video essay and like having to go back and rewind because I'm like too focused on painting or drawing. But those are great for multitasking, I feel. What about Jonathan? I guess are there any specific podcasts that you enjoy?
I'm so burnt out on podcasts. Besides this one.
Everyone listening is like, I'm leaving this.
I just like, I got in the habit of listening to the same couple for like years now. And like, I'll try to listen to like Joe Rogan or something. And it's just like him talking about how to be a comedian. Like it's even more niche than being an artist. It's like, why do millions of people listen to this? Like, I don't want to be a comedian. Like, and then that kind of realization with like every podcast I listen to is like, I only listen to these because I've listened to them for ages now. So I just listen to music now, really. I had a question about clothing. I feel like I don't think you've done clothing. At least I haven't seen it. I think your work would definitely translate to it. Do you have any plans to like try that out?
I think like the main thing or main reason why, or in my head at least, the main reason why I haven't yet is because I follow a lot of people who I look up to who do a lot of like really high quality clothing, like they're designers themselves. And a small part of me feels like I want to wait until I'm able to do like really high quality clothing with my art incorporated into it. But I don't know how like attainable that might be in the future. But since high school, I really wanted to like have my art on the clothing, and you two have actually like motivated me recently to really pursue that, to have art on my clothing and do drops with it. I think it's really cool.
That's
I say
great.
you should. It's the best
100%.
feeling in the world to see your art on a shirt. Or like when those people came up to you, they're wearing your shirt.
True. You could sign it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree though. My first drop was probably like 5 years ago, and all the shirts were like okay quality on like Gildan shirts, and the print, like it wasn't silkscreen, it was like digital, so it was like not good quality, right? Like I wasn't too happy with them, and yeah, it doesn't feel good releasing a product you're like not proud of. So now like I'm definitely more conscious about the quality and the design, right? So I totally respect like waiting and not creating another piece of landfill product, you know, like make something nice that people want and they're going to cherish, right? That's the way to go.
100%.
Yeah. I'm still not sure what I want to do yet. Like it's like a battle in my head. I don't even know, like, I guess what pieces I would put on the clothing. For a while, I thought, my old drawings. I don't know if you've seen them, but they were done with pencil and paper, and they were they had like repeating noses.
Oh, okay.
Like those were the ones where I felt would look best on clothing. For like the other ones, I'm not exactly sure how I want to go about it. Like the paintings, actually.
Right. Yeah, just all the extra colors might be a bit more difficult, but I don't know. I would wear anything.
I haven't done a ton of research.
Yeah, I would wear
For
anything.
sure.
Thomas Stokes shirt. Heck yeah, I would wear that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you too.
I
I might ask you too about that more later. I don't know.
Yeah, you
totally.
better.
I'd love to
I'm
talk
trying to
about
see these
that.
shirts happen. As long as you
I
want
want to do stickers too.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
that'd be
yes.
sick.
Someone reached out to me recently about basically my business cards, and they said, "Oh, you should have stickers of those." I thought that was a good idea.
I'm gonna put it on my
something I'm
laptop.
working on.
Have you done a lot of that where like you've had your work in shows and you sell paintings, but have you done like, well, I see you do prints as well, but is that kind of it? Like paintings, prints? Have you ever done any other type of accessory?
No, the most I've done is prints.
Right.
I've thought about phone cases. Also, I think a tote bag would be cool.
Dude, I would rock
Yeah.
one of those. I would love one of those.
That's
A little
definitely
tote collection.
something. Yeah, definitely something I want to do down the road.
I really like how you do your prints. I'm with Artist Sourced just because like with school and all that, like I don't want to be packing orders all day, but you do like the really high quality limited edition. That seems like a really effective way to do it.
It is. I'm actually. It's funny you mentioned Artist Source. I'm trying to get prints made through there because doing everything on my own recently has. Well, it is like effective, and I can sign and number the prints myself. Very time consuming. And Artist Source is print on demand, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like something like that would be better for me because I want to be able to have more prints of more artworks available for people.
Right.
Because I'm getting asked pretty often, like, "Oh, when are you gonna have prints of this?" And I keep thinking in my head, I keep getting stressed, like, "Oh, I better do some test prints of this," but then are they even gonna buy it? And so that's why I've been looking into Artist Source.
Right. You can actually do kind of whatever you want with them. It's been great. I like the open editions, but I know a couple artists do like super limited drops through them as well on like nice German paper. So you could just make them do it for you. I would recommend it.
Been speaking with them about it recently. I'm excited to possibly release more stuff through them. Like prints of my digital work. I definitely want to get some of those out.
Right. Yeah, that's a whole new like avenue, I guess.
I guess kind of doing everything on my end. It does definitely have its benefits though. But
yeah, it's always nice like being able to write a note or like throw in stickers and stuff.
Yeah. I know that's something you two do frequently, right?
Yeah. I love when you're packing an order and you recognize the person's name
Yeah.
Oh my god, you actually bought it? Like, I see you on Twitter, but you bought it?
Mhm.
I always write a little thing or put extra stickers.
Yeah. Or you like see their full name, you just like know their like username or something, and you're like, oh, I didn't know your last name was that. And like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know where you live.
I wasn't gonna say that, but yeah, that's it.
We all know. And there's something
That's
about a
cool.
sticker where you feel like you won something. Like, have you, when you were a little kid, did you ever go to the store and they give you stickers? I don't know if y'all got that.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling. You're like, I'm a superstar. They gave me an extra sticker when I did. It wasn't mandatory. So I like to give stickers because it's just an extra thing.
Yeah, for sure. They're so hyped when they open it. They get like this free thing they probably would have paid for anyways. But it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, it just makes them even more happy. I love it.
Thomas,
Huh?
what's the best art advice you've ever gotten?
Shoot, that's a hard one.
You dropped a bomb, Fewocious. Gotta
I
look,
was
get a
wondering.
plan for that one.
I was
Do
wondering.
you
the
do you
whole
have a
time.
like any mentors or anything?
Like in real life, mentors?
Yeah.
No. I wish I
Oh,
did
wow.
sometimes.
Yeah, me too.
It would be nice. This is gonna sound really stupid, but maybe just be yourself. And that's something that's I feel is hard to really follow until you find your own style. So I don't know how helpful that would be to most people.
Right. That could take years, right?
Yeah.
You're just kind of like trying to figure it out. How
Mhm.
was finding your style? Because when I look at your work, it's very clear that it's your work, right? How long do you think that took to get to where you are now, or what's the whole progression like?
Because I started painting and I think it was 2017. I think honestly it took three-ish years. What was the question again?
Just like how you developed your style over time.
Well, definitely by looking at other artists, taking particular things that I liked about their style or composition or texture, and trying to put them together in a cohesive way that feels natural to me. When I first started, Francis Bacon was a huge inspiration, and you can still see some of his visual style in some of my work. Another thing that I had taken inspiration from is abstract artists. One thing I like to think about when I'm working on a painting is, can I crop this, and then could that be an abstract painting in and of itself with
Interesting.
stuff such as texture, value ranges, stuff like that.
Right. So like the whole, like there's so many more interesting parts to the canvas than just the main image.
Yeah.
That's a great way to think about it. I like that.
What inspired you to go with that theory?
I think it was because when I first started, my backgrounds were just either white or just plain black. And after a while, I started to, even though the figures were different, I started to feel like the backgrounds were really becoming repetitive. And integrating texture into the backgrounds, it's not going to be the same every time with things such as sanding. Or one thing I like doing is taking rubbing alcohol, and because that kind of dissolves the paint a little bit. But things like that make no two backgrounds the same, despite them being the same color.
Right.
Stuff like that.
You started painting in 2017?
Like regular painting.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I always forget how young we all are, but even then, like I would assume you've been painting for a lot longer than that.
I actually started as in that I was like, okay, I'm doing this regularly, because before then it was just like for school projects in high school, and most of that wasn't even painting. Most of it was drawing. So 2017.
That's so weird
that's
to think
impressive.
about how your art will be when you're like 50 or
Right?
60.
Yeah.
What even is that gonna look like?
Honestly, I feel like I'd just be an abstract painter. I look at like interviews and videos of Gerhard Richter. He just seems so calm when he works on his abstract paintings. It's like relaxing to watch.
I love that documentary on him on Netflix. I think he's just working on like 10 different paintings, has like tens of thousands of dollars of paint, and just like throws it on a canvas.
It's insane.
Yeah, I've started to have a lot more respect for abstract artists. I think now that I'm kind of working with less of a plan when I started painting, it's so much more like nerve-wracking almost, which sounds like ridiculous. But for me, it's like so much easier to start a painting with like a finished sketch and then like I know exactly where I'm going. But when I like start a painting with no idea, like it shouldn't be hard, but it's so like daunting to me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So I have a like huge appreciation for abstract art now.
That confidence that they have is great.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get like that. When I first started, I wouldn't sketch stuff out, and that was not the most fun thing. My first two self-portraits, those, when I painted those, I had painted the eyes and the noses over, I think, a period of a week or two. And then literally everything else was done in like a span of, I think, 4 hours of me just going at the canvas. And ever since then, I haven't been able to like confidently do that.
Wow.
In the same way, I feel.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like going with the flow. But now I'm like, I've gotten so analytical about everything I do. And it's good, but also not good in some ways.
Yeah, totally. When it's like too analytical, you're like stuck and it becomes kind of almost boring.
Mm-hmm. And digital art I feel like it's helping me with that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where you go with digital, the animations, the clothing design, like NFT art. Like that's gonna be so exciting, or it is exciting.
Or even just your paintings, how you were talking about you're using it as a tool now, with the sketching aspect. That's so dope. It's gonna be so, I don't know. Also, you barely just started with digital. I feel like we're talking like you've been doing it for years, because that's what it seems like when you look at your work.
Yeah.
So just a month, who knows, blow us all out of the water.
I hope so. But like you said, I try to keep it all kind of cohesive with like traditional and digital, trying to keep them very similar.
Right. Kind of like pair them together and influence each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh, I had a question. Do you have any exciting like plans or drops coming up in the next couple months?
I hope to have again with the artists we're seeing, print drop hopefully soon of a few digital pieces and a few recent traditional paintings that I've had requests for prints of for crypto art. I'm trying to get into that, but I think those are the two main things right now.
Yeah, those are good two main things to focus on.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mentioned
especially
it earlier,
the crypto stuff. I feel like
yeah,
you see it and you're like, oh wow, that's really cool. But then once you like are in and learn and talk to all the people, you're like, oh wait, there's so much more to learn. And you learn from these artists doing mediums or working in 3D space in ways you've never ever thought of before. And it's like, whoa, you just focus on this and they know all the little details about this one tiny thing, but it's beautiful.
In 6 months, you're gonna have a VR headset and you're gonna be painting in 3D.
Yeah, I hope so. In a different dimension.
Yeah, that VR stuff seems really cool with the galleries.
It's awesome.
I want to try that out.
I think you would love it. It's given me this whole new appreciation for just art in general, digital art for sure, but just art.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, art can be whatever. It could go anywhere, and we're the ones bringing this change and moving it forward. You know, we're the ones alive right now, so let's do stuff and push this.
Yeah, why wait? You know, especially with digital art for me, it's really shown its value. I've like started to fall in love with it, which is like so bizarre to me because I'm like a normal painter, like loser, like painter elitist, you know, like always thought painting was the best, but it's really shown me like there's a lot of value in all types of art, especially digital.
Yeah, I was the same about it. That's how I felt.
Well, painting is the best, so I get it. That's great.
My love for digital has definitely grown. I feel like I like them equally.
Same.
All right, it's been just over an hour, I think.
That was an hour?
Yeah,
I
an
know,
hour.
right?
I have an hour and
Holy
7
crap.
minutes on my clock.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to like promote? That's what podcasts do, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Not really, because the print drop is not ready yet. But I don't know, maybe next time I'm on here I'll have something.
Yeah.
sure.
Anyone watching this, if it's in the future and you're watching this, look at his prints, okay? Go get one.
Grab one.
Go get multiple. Also buy a painting. Also, I don't know.
Maybe an NFT too, you know?
Yeah, buy an
Yeah.
NFT. Buy
Yeah.
tote bags, a shirt. Come on.
A sticker.
Sticker.
Hell yeah. Awesome. That was great talking to you, man. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I
Great
had
talking
fun.
to you too, as well. Thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, of course.